What's up, guys? This is Gautam Johar, and today we are going to learn more about the DFW rules. So, in my last video and in my last post, I hope you have seen that how connectivity strategy impact my traffic flow. So, today we are going to see the DFW rules, how to apply in the NSXT. So, I'm hoping that you know that how to configure these DFW rules in NSXV. Because if you have that understanding, then it will be easier for you to understand in NSXT. So let's see the connectivity first between my app DB and web servers, and then we will configure the DFW rules to ensure that these are properly configured. And if I allow the traffic, it is allowing, and if I deny the traffic, it is denied. Okay, so let's check it out. Okay, so I'm logged in my app server, and as you can see, this is my web server, and here is the IP address. So let's try to ping it. Simply ping 172.16.10.11. Hit enter. Yeah, I'm getting a reply. Okay, cancel it. And now apply DFW rule. Create a DFW rule to break this ping. Let's see how to do it. So I'll be doing between my app server and web server. So here, first of all, I'm changing my connectivity strategy from blacklist to whitelist just to ensure that all the traffic is blocked, and the only communication will be allowed which I will be allowing between my app server and web server. Okay. So as I told you earlier, access has been gone. Just close it and create a rule. So here I have created already a few rules in the applications section. Let's see the rules. The three-tier application, which is web, app, and database server. So I have created one rule between my web servers, that is source, and my app server, which is destination. And for the service 8443 on the TCP profile any, and I have applied on DFW, that is distributed firewall, right? And action I have given it allow. Likewise, I have created another rule app to DB server. My source will be app, my destination will be DB, and I have allowed the HTTP service only. Any profile DFW allow, and this radio button is to show whether my rule is enabled or disabled. So it is disabled as of now. And the third rule I have created is for client access, that is my machine, any source any. I mean whoever want to access the web server through HTTPS service will be allowed. Okay. So we need to disallow the ping, right? So here, as you know that my putty will not be accessible because my connectivity strategy is whitelist. I'll show you one thing. Putty is not accessible. Okay, that you understand now. But if I go to CMD and if I run the ping command, then you will see that it is pinging. So why? Let's see here. In my application, I have denied the application that particular putty will not be will not be accessible on port 22. But in my infrastructure, I have created a rule which says that any source, any destination will be allowed for ICMP echo reply and ICMP echo request. So that's the reason I can ping this server from here, right? Okay. So as you can see, these arrow kind of structure in DFW. So first of all, if I have my Ethernet rule, then my DFW will check this Ethernet rule, and if I don't have any Ethernet rule but I have configured something here in emergency rule section, then it will be preferred while checking the DFW policies. And then my infrastructure services comes into picture like DNS, UDP, ICMP, as you can see here, right? And then environment, and then application. So basically I create any this is just kind of categorization of DFW rules. If I want to block any application port, then I need to create the rules here or section here, or you can say the policy here. If I want to block some infrastructure kind of services, then I will create a section or rule here, right? So that's it. Okay, let's see one example. If I disable ICMP rule here, huh? Just click on publish as you do in NSXV. So you have to click on publish each and every time when you change anything in DFW rules. Otherwise, it will not give an impact. Okay, so this ICMP is blocked here. Let's test it. Right, it is blocked. Now create a ICMP rule in application section. I'll prefer to do add policy. And add policy, I give it a name. This is notes. Example name. Then add a rule from any to this service. I want to ICMP reply and it will be done for ICP version 4. Don't click ICP v6. If you scroll down, then you will see the same for ICP v4. If you want to add it, then you can add. But I prefer to do this reply and request. Apply. Okay. As we have created a new rule, any source, any destination, this. You click on publish. Okay, the rule is enabled. Now see if I can ping it. Yeah. So this is just a categorization. This doesn't mean that any rule which you want to apply here will not work here. So this is just categorization of rules. I mean, it will be easier for you to understand that where I need to look for any specific rule, because you know there will be plenty of rules when you create it in production. There will be many rules in application. There will be many rules in infrastructure. There will be many rules for Ethernet or emergency or environment kind of components. So it is just a simple and beautiful categorization which were introduced in NSXT. Earlier in NSX, we used to have some kind of categorization, but that was not presently. I mean, that was not presented um, in a good-looking way, but in NSXT it is. Okay, let's dig in a bit more, and so let's see if I can. No. Okay, so I'm allowing. I'll create a rule for this putty. Let's create here. Add rule. So I'll create a specific rule, very specific. So I'm creating between web and client machine and my app server. So I want to enable the access for my app server. So here this rule is already created for source any and toward my web server, but I am creating the rule which will be impactful for my client access machine and my app server. Okay, so here what is this? This is group where you can have multiple members. I'll show you what is this basically. Let's create the rule first and click on apply. So I have created a new rule. Let's say client. No. Yeah, that will be client to app server. So any source, if we'll try to access the app server, and service will be any, and profile any, apply to DFW, and rule is enabled, and click on publish now. And let's see if I can access it or not. Yeah, I can. So you see, so this is DFW in NSXT. So let me show you the group now. So in inventory, you have these options. So when you click groups, you will see this. So what I have done is I have created a group and created a members of this group. So as of now, my virtual machine APP01A is the member of this group. So let me show you how can you add a new group. Okay, so in this group you have mentioned this VC nodes. Now you have option to set the members. So what if you want to add a dynamic criteria, like if any virtual sorry, if any virtual machine name start from app, it will be automatically will be the member of this group. Then you can do so, right? If you have tagged any virtual machine, you can do so. If you want to add any specific virtual machine with running specific OS name, then you can do so. If you know the computer name, then you do so. Like my computer name if equal to app, or if my computer name contains word like app, then it will be member of this group known as VC nodes. So as of now, I'm not doing it. Click on members. I'll do it manually, right? So in members, if you select the virtual machine, so these all are the virtual machines in your vCenter server, and select any virtual machine which you want to make it member of this VC node group. So I have selected my app 01A. Click on apply, and other you have like IP address. If you know the IP address, then you can mention here. If you know the MAC address, then it will be part of this group. Like AD group, if AD is integrated, then you will see much options here. So that will be a different concept. So it will be. So why group? Why we use group? Huh? So basically, let me click on apply. Yeah. So one member. Criteria and description if you want to put any, tag if you want to put any. I don't want to do any tag and description, just click on save. Okay, so this VC node has been created. So as of now it is showing uninitialized. Just click on refresh, it will be up. Okay, so why this group? So basically, if you have seen in the security in the DFW section, so I have applied the policy here between any two app server. I mean, if there are suppose multiple app server, 2, 3 or 5 app servers, and I want to apply this security policy on those 5 servers, then I don't need to create 5 rules for those 5 servers. I can group those 5 servers in a group, as you can see here, and then I can apply just single rule on all 5 servers at the same time in the same rule. So that is the use of group. So I hope guys this was beneficial for you, and I could explain it in an easier way. And if any doubt, don't feel shy to ask on my blog by commenting on my blog or contacting me through the contact form. Thank you so much. Keep learning, keep growing.